Protesters, let's move on to Medicare and Medicare cuts. A lot of protesters starting to show up at these town hall meetings. We saw it with Alan West, with Dan Webster. Are you having any coming up, and what are you anticipating? As
we're sitting here today, they're protesting my office. So if they're wondering where I am, this is my alibi. You're my alibi.
That's right. I'm your alibi today.
But they're there, and this was sent out, I guess, a day or two ago, and to show up in my office and express their concern about Medicare. And look, I'm concerned about Medicare too. That's why what we signed up for, the Ryan budget, was to save Medicare. I'm 40 years old. They say that that's sort of the cutoff age where they can't promise us anything, those people that are 40 and younger. So we're basically saying if you're 55 and older, this is not going to affect you. But those of us, that are younger than 55, we have to change the way that the government provides this service, because the way that it's working now is going to go broke, and it's not going to be there for me, my kids, or our grandkids.
But how can we do that without severely hurting the people that rely on this so heavily and have for years?
Well, what we're going to do is basically say it's kind of a means-tested type thing, that if you're more well off, you're going to carry more of the burden, but if you're not as well off, you're going to end up carrying less. So it's actually going to be a good thing. And we're going to basically take the government, it's basically going to work like a Medicare Advantage type situation, where you can pick the provider that what you want to use. But in the long haul, not only will it save Medicare, it'll provide it for the next several generations, but I think that it'll make it more robust and more fair. So when people say that, we should just, tax people more, well, in essence, that's going to happen with means tested, where people that are more well off
would pay more.
They're going to carry more of the burden, right?
At the beginning of our segment, we touched on how you were able to defeat your party leader on his plan for more military jet engines to be built. Do you think we're starting to see a shift among the Republicans, kind of away from defense spending?
I don't think so. I think that, but we are looking at everything across the board when it comes to is there waste, fraud, or abuse in every area. Certainly, and I would consider myself part of it, that, we believe in small government, we believe in capitalism, we believe in the federal free market, but we also believe in defense, and we believe in carrying the biggest stick on the block. Now, with the second engine and going against my speaker, which I'm afraid to even talk about right now, because I'm still wondering how I pulled it off. But, for me, it was definitely, the arguments that we would fund two engines even though we would only use one didn't make any sense. And certainly with Pratt Whitney being here locally in Palm Beach County, could potentially mean a lot more jobs for us here. We're just hopeful that because we were able to sell to the freshmen that this is a way to shave $500 million from the budget right now, and you can go home and tell your constituents that we were able to win that argument.
I know, Congressman, you say we should still carry the biggest stick, we America, but when does it get to a point where we cannot be the caretakers of the world and we have such dire issues to deal with here at home?
It's not being the caretaker so much of the world or getting into nation building, even though that is kind of where we've been. It's just to the point where nobody messes with us. We're able to defend ourselves here and, our allies. And it's not just, for now, it's for generations to come. We've been able to be who we are and, be that shining city on the hill because of the fact that we believe in the free markets. You can live the American dream and without the fear that somebody's going to hurt us.
Very, very quickly before I let you go, your district will be one of the ones being redrawn coming up. It goes from the East Coast to the West Coast. How do you want to see it redrawn?
I'd like to see it stay the same way it is. I mean, we had pretty good, but I know that that's not going to happen. So certainly that's going to be weighed over the next several months, and we'll put our input in. But this is done by Tallahassee, not by Washington. So we can only have input, and hopefully, I'm able to keep a lot of my constituents.
Congressman Tom Rooney, thank you very much. We've waited since, and it was worth the wait.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Coming up, our roundtable is next. Protest at a town meeting.